So the NPLW Victoria season is off and running for 2025. 2 rounds in the books. And tonight it's a match day 3. Friday night battle at Kingston Heath Soccer Complex between 2 of last season's belligerents. The Bentleigh Greens at home for the 3rd week running, looking for their first victory of season 2025 after 2 promising showings against South Melbourne and champions Heidelberg United last week. The challenger arrives tonight in black and white. Brunswick Juventus spared relegation last season only for the misfortune of others. Juve's 2025 campaign has started with 2 losses. They haven't won a league game since defeating Bentleigh 273 days ago. Brent Sternberg is my name, on deck here at Kingston Heath Soccer Complex in Cheltenham on this Friday evening on the NPL Victoria YouTube channel. The opening fixture of match day 3. Bentleigh Greens taking on Brunswick Juventus. Here's how they line up then. Bentleigh, for the first time this season, make changes to their starting 11. 3 of them, Coco Parker and Rebecca Saber, go back to the bench. And there is no captain Sydney Allen tonight, out of the squad entirely. Amanda Stevenson and Emily Keppins get their first starts of the season, and Karina Tolios gets a starting 11 reprieve. So Talia Murphy in goal for the home side, and a back 4 of Ashley Lefebvre, Belinda Stachewski, who starts in her 50th match tonight, Regan Bridges, and the captain for this evening, Ellie Torre. The 2 midfielders ahead of them, Daniela DePetta and Caitlin Storey. Amanda Stevenson, we believe, will start ahead of those 2 with Emily Keppins and Delaney Kenny on the flanks. Karina Tolios will lead the line. 2 changes. The line for the Zebras this evening. Our officials tonight, in the middle, it's Shab Saban, ably assisted on the touchlines by Daphne Gunaris and Labrina Oliaris, and the 4th official down below us will be Michael Oliaris. Somewhat of a family affair with our officials this evening. So the only Friday night fixture in the NPLW this week. 2 of last season's cellar dwellers, the Bentleigh Greens, will kick us off from left to right. In the green, naturally, Brunswick Juventus also in their home kit in the iconic black and white. A little bit later kick-off this evening under the floodlights at Kingston Heath. Should be a more pleasurable viewing experience compared to Bentleigh's first 2 home fixtures this season, which have kicked off a little earlier in the daylight, and the sunshine has proved a bit of a problem for viewers. No such issues this evening. Bentleigh looking for their first victory this season, kick us off. And Brunswick Juventus also looking for their first win. They haven't picked up a point this season. And they cause an early turnover here. Danny McKenzie, who played a leading hand in the one and only goal that they scored last week at home to Burundurra. A match in which Burundurra scored all 3 of their goals in a 15-minute span in the first half. Justin Ayaria's side chasing tail thereafter. Interesting to see how Bentleigh go then tonight without their captain, Sydney Allen. It is Sydney Allen's first season here at Bentleigh. 2 teams that went on a shopping spree in the off-season. Sydney Allen out of the squad entirely. Ali Torre wears the captain's armband. And Rebecca Saber also not in the starting 11, another one who joined Bentleigh from Alamein in the off-season. Here's Amanda Stevenson, who looks like she started on the right wing for the Greens, going at Natalie Chaya. Got herself horribly tangled up. Chaya clears the ball out of play. It's going to be a Bentleigh throw-in. Ali Torre waltzes over to take it. Another one who joined Bentleigh in the off-season. She was with Brunswick Juventus last season. Kippins' cross amounts to not much. It's cleared away by Neveline Court. Capola trying to link up with Natalie Chaya and out of play. Bentleigh last week here at home losing 2-1 to the defending champions in the top division of women's football here in Victoria, Heidelberg United. It was a game Bentleigh took the lead in. It was 0-0 at half-time. Bentleigh scoring inside the opening 20 seconds of the second half. Delaney Kenny, the American import, scoring a goal for the Greens. And Heidelberg United doing as champions do, managing to fight their way back from a deficit. Scoring a goal from a corner kick that the Bentleigh players were certain didn't cross the line. It was a shot that came off the crossbar and back out into play. Heidelberg United players were certain it crossed the line. Bentleigh players were certain that it didn't. In the end, the officials awarded it a goal. That was the equaliser, and then the winning goal was a mistake from the goalkeeper, Taylor Murphy. Here's an opportunity for Tolios, trying to cut inside and wind up for the first meaningful shot at goal. It's blocked. Bentleigh back in position now. Stevenson, Keppins. Chaya's pass for McEwen and cleared away. Capola going against Ellie Torre. It'll be a good battle tonight. Capola maintains possession. And Belinda Stachevsky in the pink boots comes across to bring that attack to an end. Belinda Stachevsky, as I mentioned in the preamble, her 50th appearance tonight in the NPL top division. Come over from Box Hill United in the off-season, but previously also played for Preston and Calder United as well. Throw in adjacent to the 18-yard box. Back out of play. Nice day here in Melbourne today. Some parts of the city got to 30 degrees. Still at a balmy 24 degrees at kickoff. Just about a perfect night for football. And a perfect night for perhaps one of these teams to open the account for season 2025. Tolios did start for Bentleigh on match day 1. Their 1-1 draw here with South Melbourne. Wasn't in the squad last week, Karina. Bentleigh going down the left-hand wing. This is Kenny, Lefevre, I should say, who wins a throw-in for the Greens. Ash Lefevre, who was, I must say, one of Bentleigh's best in that loss to Heidelberg United last week. Yes, another player who has joined Bentleigh this season from Alamein. The goalkeeper Taylor Murphy, Sydney Allen, Ash Lefevre, Daniela Tepeta, and of course Rebecca Saber, all coming across from Dorothy Laver to Kingston Heath. Good work there by Stachevsky. Shishido out for Capola. Bentleigh did manage 10 shots on goal in that loss to Heidelberg United last week. The Burgers had 11 of their own. Long diagonal is well controlled by Amanda Stevenson, who is called to shoot from deep. She does, but didn't quite get the venom behind it that she needed to test the Brunswick UVA goalkeeper Peyton Woodward. Another American coming to play in the NPLW Victoria. She was recently playing in the top division of Iceland, a football club called HK Vikingur. Yeah, 10 shots to 11 last week in that match between the Greens and the Burgers. 5 shots on target, Bentleigh. The Warriors had just 4, and they'll be bitterly disappointed that they didn't walk away from that match with something to show for it. Well, they did score a second goal in that second half, and it was a beautiful goal that was ruled out due to the offside flag. A wonderful slick passage of play. The ball was eventually turned in by Coco Parker, who was on the bench tonight. And they were disappointed when they looked up and noticed the raised flag of the official. Eden McEwen bangs it forward. And now they're slipped in behind here. Juve, it's Capola. Well, closed down by Ash Lefevre. It's a wonderful challenge. Who sends the ball back up the pitch for the Greens. Keppins couldn't get it under her spell. Gathered by DePetta. Probably started the better of the two sides here, Bentleigh. In the early minutes. Alyssa Smith. Coming together there between Lefevre and Capola out there. Shishido. These two teams traded home victories last season. As Bentleigh again stymie another foray forward for Brunswick Juventus. Brunswick Juventus won 2-1 at home at CB Smith Reserve on match day 15. As I mentioned in the offing, that was, I should say, their last league victory. Winless in their last 9 league matches since that win over Bentleigh match day 15 last season. The clash earlier in the season here at Kingston Heath was won 1-0 by Bentleigh. The Sarah Johnston goal in the first half was enough to separate the two. Bentleigh, of course, in their second season under the Bentleigh Greens moniker. It was a football club created in 2015 as Bayside United. Here go Brunswick Juve knocking it around the back. Tolios is keeping Peyton Woodward honest. Does look like Karina Tolios has started up front for Bentleigh. Still in the 4-2-3-1 with DePetta and Storey as the holding midfielders. Capola giving chase. Foot race is won by Stachewski, who eventually wins the foul for the Greens. The Bayside United Football Club created and joined the NPLW in the first season of that particular competition in 2016. Of course, prior to that, it was known as the Victorian Premier League Women's. And they've always played their games here at Kingston Heath. And had a great relationship with the Bentleigh Greens. Trained here on the artificial pitches as well, and heading into the 2024 season they decided to effectively amalgamate and take the Bentleigh name and wear the shirts as well. Second season wearing the green shirts of Bentleigh. We do miss the striking orange and black of Bayside United. Well, Lefevre, I think that was, trying to angle a diagonal ball for Amanda Stevenson. In fact, that was Delaney Kenny, the American, playing her football in the collegiate soccer leagues in America last season for Chicago State. Has scored both of Bentleigh's goals so far this season. in that 1-1 draw with South Melbourne on match day 1, and then in the loss to Heidelberg United last Friday night. I'm sure you're aware by now, her nickname is Goose. Don't get me to elaborate on that any further. Loose ball flagged down by Regan Bridges, another American, coming to play her football in Victoria from Florida International University, but originally from the Rocky Mountains. Stevenson, Keppins. Oh, did Torre stay on side there? She did. Stevenson has gotten in behind into the dangerous area. McEwen clears it away, but not all convincingly. Zepeta. And Lefebvre is happy to retreat back to Regan Bridges. She's from a little town called Littleton. About 14 kilometres south of Denver. Played her football, though, in Florida at Florida International University. She was the captain of the Panthers. Torre. Tolios. Zepeta. Storey. Had some space open up for her. Receives it back from Tolios and then hoofs it at goal. It will go down as another shot on goal for the Greens, but ultimately one that wasn't troubling the goalkeeper, Peyton Woodward. In the pink tonight, Peyton? An American from Fayetteville, Arkansas. The Brunswick Juventus shot stopper. Feel like we're going on a tour of the United States with all of the American players out there this evening. Had a few good ones joined this league through the years. Gabby Holler last season. Burundara scored a swag of goals. Kayla Diva as well, you might remember, played for Bayside United a couple of seasons ago. Bridges. Belinda Slichevsky. Bentleigh happy to get their foot on the ball. Bridges with the long ball. It's gotten past Sikierski. Lefebvre. Oh, and making a run for the goal line there was Emily Keppins, but in the end it was too close to the goalkeeper, Peyton Woodward. But nice build-up from Bentleigh there. Menacing as we tick past the first quarter hour here at Kingston Heath Soccer Complex. Friday night football in the NPLW Victoria, a poor giveaway from Woodward. Keppins, lays it off for Tolios. Another shot off target. They'll be disappointed with how cheaply they gave away possession there, Brunswick Juventus. They did look a little bit flaky at times last season, trying to play their football out from the back. They are a team, Brunswick UV, under new management this season. Justin Ayaria has taken over. He was the coach of their under-20s last season. He's taken over from Josip Lončačić. Of course, Brunswick UV did finish in the relegation zone last season, and they were supposed to be relegated, but one of the teams that was on their way up to the top division, the KC Comets, unfortunately, due to a myriad of issues, weren't able to take their place in the top division. And in December, the decision was made by Football Victoria to keep Brunswick Juventus in the top division. So we were intending to have 2 teams relegated and 2 teams promoted. In the end, we only had 1 team relegated. That was the once almighty Calder United, and Spring Hills were the only team that eventually were promoted to the top division. The Casey Comets, as far as I'm aware, are not actually fielding a women's senior side this season. They're doing wonderful things at junior level. Let's hope that they can sort some of their problems out and they can field a senior women's side next season, because they are a proud football club, especially when it comes to the women's side of things, Casey. And the fact that they were good enough to earn promotion into the top division tells you just how strong they are. Lefevre running at Mia Sikirski, does well to win the ball back for Brunswick Juventus. 17-year-old on starting debut. She's made a couple of appearances off the bench. DePetta runs flat stick into Shishido. Tolios just took her eye off the ball there. Oh, Navleen Kerr with only an inch to spare, back to Woodward. Woodward plays it out of touch. Oh, that ball looked like it was out of play. Indeed it was. Just as Danny McKenzie was bursting forward for Brunswick Juve. Torre bangs it forward, and Stevenson is out after it at the byline, goes straight past Navleen Kerr in towards the 6-yard box, where it's turned over by Delaney Kenny. Great build-up play once again from the Greens. Amanda Stevenson getting right past Navleen Kerr far too easily. Just needed that little bit more composure from Delaney Kenny. I think by the time she arrived at the football, she was running so fast that she wasn't able to control the shot. Well, that certainly can go down as the best opportunity of the night so far for either side. And they're starting to stack up for the home side. Both teams keen to get their first win of the season. Bentleigh have scored in both games and are yet to taste victory this season. It's a nice ball forward from the Greens. Ash Lefevre gives chase. Eventually just ran out of room on that far side. Well, these are the 2 teams that dropped the most points in the top flight last season. Bentleigh have already dropped 5 in 2 games. Scoring first against South Melbourne on match day 1, and then it was Olivia Bomford, the former Bentleigh player, the former Bentleigh captain, who scored a wonderful equalising goal. That match finishing 1-1. And then that was 2 points dropped, and then last Friday night scoring first against Heidelberg United before the Burgers scored 2 goals to pinch victory. And Mackenzie trying to bludgeon her way through the green shirts. Bentleigh dropped 17 points last season, second only to Brunswick Juve, who dropped 20. Juventus, who finished in the relegation zone, Bentleigh only just scraped through, finishing in 10th position, 1 point out of the drop zone, so to speak. Here's Amanda Stevenson, who's had a pretty sprightly first 20 and a half minutes. The Bentleigh winger, her first start of the season. And she's giving away a foul there. Amanda Stevenson made 1 appearance. That was off the bench last week against the Burgers. Returns to Bentleigh this season from Ringwood City, where she was playing in the 2nd division last year. She was with Bayside United from 2019 to 2023. A couple of players have returned to Bentleigh this season. Caitlin Storey as well. 33-year-old who was playing in the top flight last season with Bulleen. Good work from Navleen Kerr. Keeps the Momentum rolling forward, shoulder to shoulder with Keppens. Oh, not able to dink the pass through the Bentleigh back four. Another poor turnover in midfield, and Bentleigh give it straight back to the groans of the patrons down below us. Tolios. Here is Caitlin Storey. Karina Tolios, in fact, looks like she's playing in the number 10 position, vacated by the absence, I should say, of Sydney Allen tonight. Emily Keppens leading the line. Stevenson. Tolios. In a battle with Shishido. McKenzie tucks in and wins the ball back for Juve. Capola. Banged forward in hope more than anything by Alyssa Smith, who is one of the very few players for Brunswick Juventus who was held over from last season. Brunswick Juve only have 2 players that were in the starting 11 the last time these two teams played one another. Bentleigh only have 1. That's how much these two teams have changed in personnel. Kenny. Expansive pass that Ali Toure made a little bit of a hash of, but puts her hand up in appreciation. Ali Toure, who played so much football with Heidelberg United, was there for a decade before joining Brunswick Juventus in the mid-season transfer window last season. Wonder how she felt watching on in the grand final last year and seeing Heidelberg United go on and win the championship without her. After playing so much football for the yellow and black, Heidelberg United, unexpected champions last season, finished 4th on the table. Of course, the top 4 play finals in the NPLW Victoria, a 12-team competition, but only the top 4 play finals. The brutal nature of the league. And there are no second chances, straight to 2 semi-finals. 1 plays 4 and 2 plays 3, and the winners go in to the decider. Oh, the ball's gotten through. McKenzie wasn't quite able to react in time. Bridges back for her goalkeeper, Taylor Murphy. And just on Ali Toure, she was at Heidelberg United from 2014 to 2024, so that's 11 years. The last time Heidelberg United made the grand final in the top division, prior to last year, was Ali's first season at the Burgers in 2014. She had to watch on as Heidelberg United beat Preston in dramatic circumstances. One of the most incredible matches of football that we had here in Victoria in any division. Winning that game 3-2, a late goal in extra time. Stevenson on the back shoulder here of Natalie Chaya. Cool wants to see it back up to the relative sanctuary of the halfway line. Sikirski, Capola, and Smith. And Shishido back for Mia Sikirski, a 17-year-old, will turn 18 in July. 1 appearance off the bench last season. That was against Bentleigh match day 4. There's another miscommunication playing out from the back for Brunswick Juve. Got Natalie Chaya playing at left back tonight. She's more known to play on the right side, but Mia Sikirski has come in to play in that position, and the captain, Natalie Chaya, has gone over to the other side. Storey. Great hustle in midfield there by Melissa Smith, who wins the foul for Juve. .26.5 minutes gone here at Kingston Heath Soccer Complex. Glad we can have your company wherever you may be tuning in from around the planet this evening. The only NPLW Victoria match we have for you tonight. The rest of the games for match day 3 will transpire tomorrow, all across suburban Melbourne. The opening 27 minutes here have been somewhat dominated by the Greens. They've certainly had a lot of pings at goal. Not too many of them on targets. And they'll be pretty keen to find the first goal here. Bentleigh, we see many times in this league the team that has the momentum and starts the game sprightly doesn't always score first. Here comes Kenny. Rolls past the defender, lays it off for Caitlin Storey, who's trying to open up the angle for herself, and eventually the shot was blocked. Storey goes to ground, and I think in the end might have been penalised for a handball, which is a little unlucky. It's a foul going the way of Brunswick Juve. This is the 97th match that Bayside United / Bentleigh Greens are playing at Kingston Heath. Of course, they had a lot of barren years in the early formative years as Bayside United. They didn't do a lot of winning. They're one of the few teams that have been in the NPLW Victoria since the beginning that haven't played finals. Storey's lofted it in over the top. Tolios is in the vicinity. Eden McEwen takes evasive action, plays it out of touch. Shishido. Mackenzie's able to get past Stachevsky. She's got green shirts all around her. Has to tread water here. Ball ricochets out of play. Coming into match day 3, still only early, but the table looks very good if you're an Alamein fan. On top of the table with 2 wins out of the gate. Heidelberg United and FC Bulleen Lions are the other undefeated teams through 2 matches as Bentleigh plot their path forward again. Tolios has Stevenson to her right. Uses Amanda Stevenson, who's got time to send in a cross. It's taken a deflection. Kippen's trying to turn it goalward bound. And all she can muster, well, no, I was going to say all she can muster was a corner kick, but it's adjudged to have come off the attacking player last and out of play. So Alamein on top with the goal difference of +4. Heidelberg United in second, also undefeated. Their goal difference is +2. Bulleen Lions in third position. The team that has finished on top of the table each of the past 3 seasons and has not won the championship in any of those seasons. Their goal difference of +2. South Melbourne in 4th position on 4 points. Essendon Royals in 5th on 4 points. Burundara, just the 3 points that they claimed with that away victory last week over Brunswick Juventus. They are in 6th position. The only team that hasn't picked up a point so far this season is the FV Academy team, which have changed names again this season. They were FV Emerging the past few years. That's a team that have undergone a lot of different name changes. Of course, they are the academy or pathway program, if you like. The most highly talented young girls in Victoria play for that team. So we effectively have a 12-team league, 11 clubs, and then the Football Victoria Academy. I should say Brunswick Juventus also haven't picked up a point. I'm looking at a live ladder here which has them on 1 point, which of course they would get with a draw. Bentleigh knock it forward. Touré's not going to win that foot race, but Karita Tolios will. Into the byline and then in towards the near post. And it may have skimmed the crossbar before going out of play on the far side. And Bentleigh mighty close again to opening the scoring here this evening. Well, they no doubt would have come into the match tonight, Bentleigh, as favourites. Despite the fact they haven't been able to win either of their first 2 games, they have looked a much improved team to the side that won only 4 matches last season. Tepeta. Turnover in midfield. Capola. McEwen once again happy to retreat all the way back to the goalkeeper. And Bentleigh's record last season, 4 wins, 2 draws and 16 losses. Only scored 21 goals last year in the league. You don't need to be a genius to work out that that's less than 1 goal a game. That was the lowest number of any side in the top division. Calder United scored the next few as they scored 28, 7 more than the Greens. Crowd on the outer side like the action being on their side. Bentleigh have they have some sort of a cheer squad over there. I think it's their girls that play in one of the underage categories. They're all out there in their jerseys. Here's some good work rolling forward. Kenny and plays it out off McEwen. And, we've got James on the camera this evening. I'm sure in the picture just a moment ago you could see the girls on the outer side. They've got the shiny green pom-poms. They were making quite a racket pre-kickoff. They were singing happy birthday to somebody. I can only imagine that that is for Renee Sofronides, who is on the bench tonight. She's got her 23rd birthday, Renee, coming up tomorrow. .34.5 minutes played here at Kingston Heath. Bentleigh Greens 0, Brunswick Juventus 0. If you've only just tuned in recently, Bentleigh have had the lion's share of the possession and they've peppered the Brunswick UVIC goal. Hitting the woodwork only a few moments ago. Touré another cross. Finds its way to Keppins. He tried to turn but saw the ball whisked away, and now it's all the way back with Bridges. Delaney Kenny also had a good opportunity about 14 minutes or so into the match. A brilliant cross from Amanda Stevenson found the American that she turned over the bar. They're probably the best 2 opportunities that we've seen in this first half so far. Lefebvre. That's not a bad ball. Stevenson is there. Chaya doesn't quite clear it away. Eventually sees it away, but only as far as Tepeta, whose shot was blocked. And Tolios not able to find Daniela Tepeta. Ali Touré, I should say. He's battling with Samira Rexepi. And good work from Danny McKenzie, but eventually Bentleigh will pick up possession. Storey, Lefebvre, another left foot cross, looking for Keppins. And the glancing header, she made contact. That was the first part of the equation, but the second part had to be the control and accuracy. And they were the attributes that were lacking. Another half opportunity for Bentleigh goes begging. Don't think they'll be too disappointed, though, the Bentleigh coaches, led by Ange Kudas, who took over midway through last season. They're playing some nice football. Feels like only a matter of time before the dam wall will bust and Bentleigh will have their goal. As I was mentioning earlier, though, they have to be wary. This league has a funny knack of having the team that are up against the ropes score first rather than the other way around. Brunswick Juventus saw that last week. They didn't start too badly against Boroondara. Started well, first 10-15 minutes or so. A quarter of an hour later, they were 3 goals behind. Sikierski not taking any risks. Just on Bentleigh's roadmap last season, I mentioned they only won 4 games. They won 2 of their first 4 matches before going on a 9-game losing streak that ended with a win over FV Emerging on match day 14. They won 1 of their last 8 games. Interestingly, against the eventual champions Heidelberg United on match day 21. That was their last victory in the league. They've only won 1 of their last 10 matches in league play. Bridges pumps it forward but concedes possession. Rexepi. McEwen. Trying to play a pass for, I think it was designed for Sienna Coppola to chase. Brunswick Juventus, 3 wins, 4 draws and 15 losses last season. I did mention earlier they finished just 1 point out of the relegation zone. Sorry, that was Bentleigh that finished 1 point out of the relegation zone. Brunswick Juventus finished second last. Calder United on the bottom. Kenny looking to leave that one for Tolios. Tolios, knowing that it had been touched last by the defender, was happy enough to see it run out of play. Bentleigh will try and create something here from a throw-in. Keppins, who had that header attempt on goal go wide only a few moments ago, can't control this one. Good work there by Bridges. She ran into trouble. No foul, says the referee, and Juventus come forward. The referee Shabsaban plays the advantage. Shishido looking for McKenzie. Stachevski cuts the angle. DePetta. Oh, lovely skill to get out of trouble. Tolios. That's a poor pass from Karina Tolios. Concedes possession. Brunswick Juventus wanting another foul. Coppola. Now a shot from long range from Alyssa Smith. Well, worth a go. Haven't had too many shots on goal in this first half, Brunswick Juventus. That might have been their first, in fact. Doesn't trouble the Bentleigh goalkeeper and vice-captain Taylor Murphy. She was the one who made that really bad error last week that led to Heidelberg United's go-ahead goal. Bentleigh on the bench on that far side cannot believe that Delaney Kenny has not drawn a foul there. In fact, she has drawn a foul. It might have been Ash Lefevre. She has drawn a foul. I think they wanted a yellow card, the Bentleigh officials on the far side there. The referee's book stays in her pocket. Bentleigh have scored one of their goals from a set piece just like this already this season. Can they pounce again? Lefevre plays it into the mix. Not quite cleared by Juve. Eventually hoofed forward by McEwen. Torre. Stevenson. Keppins lays it off for Tolios, but Nanami Shishido will win the foot race. Tolios wins the ball back. Torre back in towards the near post where Storey was lurking. And once again, Eden McEwen playing saviour for Brunswick Juventus. Oh, great hustle there from Keppins. Oh, a moment of miscommunication between Woodward and Court. Eventually Peyton Woodward comes to claim the ball. Tolios with an early release. Away by Sikierski. Storey and Sikierski. There's a battle between youth and experience. Sikierski, a 17-year-old, as we've mentioned. Caitlin Storey, 33 years of age. Appearance number 119 in the top flight of women's football here in Victoria. Played a lot of those long passes to get out of trouble, Brunswick Juventus, but the problem has been haven't been able to connect with too many of their attackers or even midfielders. Giving the ball back far too easily to the Bentleigh players, who are then able to knock the ball from side to side as they're doing now. And for the most part, relatively been untroubled when in possession, the home side tonight. Oh, a lovely little run with a couple of step overs for Kenny. Back to Lefebvre. Those two have confused me a couple of times tonight already. The two blondies on the left-hand side. Tolios. Little engine in midfield for Bentleigh. Keeps on keeping on. Back for Bridges. Into the final minutes of the first half. If they're able to get to half-time 0-0, Brunswick Juventus would be pretty happy with that, you would have to imagine. Haven't had a lot of possession and, as mentioned, not a lot of goal-mouth action up their end. If they can go down the tunnel at half-time and get stuck into the half-time oranges, they'll be pretty happy knowing that the scoreboard is 0-0. Bentleigh would like to have their say on the matter. Stevenson had her shirt tugged by Rexepi, then brought down. No foul either way. Chea. Forward for Coppola. Banged forward by Bridges. Storey. Tolios. Kenny trying to barge through. Hasn't had a hell of a lot of the ball in this first half, Delaney Kenny, but has looked dangerous every time she's gotten near it. There's no extracurricular at the end of this first half. 45 minutes flat. And a first half that Bentleigh have dominated for the most part in terms of possession. They've poked and they've prodded the Greens, but through the opening 45 minutes, that first goal has not come. Brunswick Juventus away from home, digging their heels in, and they're pretty happy to see the scoreboard 0-0 as they head for the half-time tunnel, where the managers will give their half-time speeches. And not much. Welcome back to Kingston Heath Soccer Complex, where it's 0-0 on the precipice of the second half here between Bentleigh Greens in the green and Brunswick Juventus in the black and white. Brent Sternberg is my name. Away we go for the second 45 under the Friday night floodlights in the southeastern Melbourne suburb of Cheltenham. No changes to report for either side at half-time. A first half that was dominated for the most part by the home side. 6 shots on goal, 1 on target. The first half of Brunswick Juventus that did not garner a single shot on goal. And they're going to have to improve in that department, obviously, if they want to get a win or even a result, really. Because you suspect that Bentleigh's goal will come at some stage in this second half. Had a couple of really good looks at goal, despite only having 1 shot on target. And they did have a couple of great opportunities. Delaney Kenny got on the end of an Amanda Stevenson cross that she spurned over the crossbar. There was another shot, a cross-come shot, if you will, that skimmed along the crossbar and eventually out of play. It's not often that you see in the NPLW Victoria a team, any team, go an entire half without registering at least a shot. Not necessarily a shot on target, but just a shot of any sort. Mackenzie, who's played with her back to goal most of the match. Regan Bridges got sat down after heading that ball away. Stachewski it was, in fact. Smith can't win the ball for Brunswick Juventus. And we might introduce you to some of the players on the bench this evening in just a moment. These are two teams that, as I mentioned in the first half, struggled last season. 2 of the bottom 3 placed sides. DePetta. The cross doesn't quite make it into the 18-yard box. Cleared away by McEwen. Butler and I think that was Rex Heppy can't combine. Juve give it away. Tolios, who was busy in the first half. And she goes down asking for a foul, and instead our referee in the middle, Shab Saban, is pointing the other way. Now, these are two teams who, despite not winning many games last season, they did score first in a lot of matches, but when it comes to leading at half-time, Brunswick Juve only led at the break 3 times from 22 matches. Here's an opportunity for Amanda Stevenson, pouncing on an error. Her shot blocked brilliantly by McEwen. Comes straight back to Amanda Stevenson, or DePetta lining up, has her shot blocked. I think that was Alyssa Smith, and now maybe Juve can spring forward. Coppola is on the back shoulder of Regan Bridges. The defender for Bentleigh plays it well. Turns Coppola away from goal. And just a little glimmer of light there for Brunswick Juventus, and quickly exterminated. Bentleigh leading at four times at half-time last season. They only went on to win twice. Brunswick Juventus only leading 3 times. But these teams scored first in a lot of matches, hence why they both ended up dropping a lot of points last season. But there's an opportunity for one of them to get a win here tonight and kickstart their season just 3 games in. Bridges, who was solid as a rock in the first half. Poor giveaway in midfield. Haven't been able to capitalise on the Bentleigh turnovers, Brunswick Juventus. They've played a lot of those types of balls forward that Eden McEwen just sent that have been, at the risk of sounding harsh, a little hopeless. On the bench for Bentleigh this evening, Isabella Fernandez, Anna Liakopoulos, Coco Parker, who started the first 2 games for Bentleigh, and a lovely turn by Caitlin Storey. Keppins. Stevenson's going to have another opportunity here to cross it into the dangerous area. Doesn't quite make it as far as Delaney Kenny. Smith turns it away. Rex Heppy. Flagged down by Emily Keppins. Coco Parker on the bench. Rebecca Saber, who we know has great goal-scoring pedigree, last season's gold medal winner. It's for the league best and fairest. Won that award in a tie with Maya Markovski. Or Ash Lefevre's slipped over. Butler takes possession away. Mackenzie is fouled. And our first yellow card of the evening goes the way of Bentleigh's Daniela DePetta.
First under 15.
DePetta's first booking of the season. Bentleigh only had 1 player on a yellow card coming into this evening, that being Isabella Fernandez. They also have the birthday girl Renee Sofronides on the bench. Bentleigh, the reserve goalkeeper, is Taylor Wolfe. On the bench tonight for Juve, Natasha Colosimo, Odine Guimara, and Natalie Grimer, who has started the first 2 matches before going back to the bench this evening. Tiana Pandov. Jade Kircher is in the squad for the first time. Great work from Layla Butler to get clear. Cut out by Stachevski. Back for Butler. Throw-in goes the way of the green team. Juve's reserve goalkeeper is Tiana Orphanides. Lefevre with the throw-in. Out off the head of Layla Butler, just going forward in increments here, Bentleigh. Ash Lefevre, I mentioned in the first half, one of a bunch of players that joined Bentleigh from Alamein. She had been playing her football at Dorothy Laver Reserve for 8 seasons before joining the Greens. Appearance number 110 this evening. McEwen with an interjection. So many of their passes, Brunswick Juve, coming out of the defensive third, have come unstuck. Oh, Coppola at the stretch. Couldn't pounce on another Bentleigh turnover. Stachevski. Straight to Layla Butler. This is the problem they face with, though, Brunswick Juve. When they win the turnover, don't have a lot of options. And quite often they give it straight back, as Shishida does just there. Coppola just lurking on the back shoulder of Regan Bridges. DePetta, I should say. Picking it up in midfield for Bentleigh. Ash Lefevre. Good anticipation there from Eden McEwen, but again, concedes possession. Of course, these two teams will have the Nike FC Cup coming up also. Sikierski can't deal with the diagonal ball. Kenny to the byline. Getting in the road at the near post was McEwen. Needed some help clearing it. Bentleigh tightening the screw. Lefevre in the corner. Does well to dig out a cross. And McEwen again. who has coughed up possession once or twice in this match, but all told has been pretty sturdy defensively. Only a youngster, 19 years of age, has had a birthday already this season, early February. And she was another player who left Alamein in the off-season to join Brunswick Juve. Tolios showed a little bit too much to Smith. Sikierski, back to Woodward. Was only just able to get the pass out from underneath the Bentleigh player. That ball has gone out of play. Of course, they did lose a lot of players. We might get back on the Nike FC Cup conversation in just a moment. Losing Nicole Cooper, their leading goal scorer last season, Brunswick Juve. She's now at Heidelberg United. Smith bangs it away, helped on by Mackenzie, but doesn't have a lot of help around her. Stachevski for Storey. And they also lost, obviously, Alec Torre, who's lining up for Bentleigh, Karina Tolios as well, and Emily Keppens. So 3 former Brunswick Juventus players out there tonight for Bentleigh. Emma Peroni, who's playing for Box Hill this season. Melinda Barbieri, who scored a bunch of goals as well. She's playing for Keilor Park. Just wonder how many of those players might have stuck around at Brunswick Juventus if they had known that this club was going to stay in the top division. Obviously, that was a decision that was only made in December. Ball played forward here. Butler's giving chase. She may have been in an offside position. It's made its way all the way through to Taylor Murphy. In any case, they brought in players from all over the place. Brunswick Juve, Woodward, the goalkeeper, an American who's come from Iceland, a couple of players from Alamein. There's Delaney Kenny now, given quite a lot of real estate to cut inside, but she's conceded possession. Smith. Back for McEwen. The longer this game stays 0-0, the longer Brunswick Juventus will feel they're a chance at nipping something. Butler runs right at Regan Bridges. Bridges said, this bridge is closed. Here comes a double change for Bentleigh. Caitlin Storey is going to be replaced by Coco Parker. And also coming on will be Isabella Fernandez. She's going to come on in replace of Emily Keppens. Isabella Fernandez coming on off the bench for the 3rd consecutive match. Coco Parker did start match day 1 and 2. So a couple of players with some attacking prowess, Parker and Fernandez. And here is Coco Parker into the fray immediately. Scored 3 goals in 21 appearances last season for Bentleigh, did Coco Parker. A little bit surprised to come here tonight and see her not in the starting 11. Izzy Fernandez, 31-year-old, appearance number 43 in the Victorian top division. Great work there by Kenny in midfield. Torre loves to play the long ball. Shea hasn't quite dealt with it. Here's Fernandez, twisting, turning. She's a little live wire. Eventually just slipping over at the wrong time. And she is a player that is capable of the electric. Isabella Fernandez, Stachevski, back for Bridges. Oh, Bridges' first touch put her under some pressure. Lefebvre. McEwen, an interesting header attempt. Did the job. Shea, an awkward bounce, using the touchline as her friend. Approaching the hour mark here at Kingston Heath Soccer Complex. Still it's Bentleigh 0, Brunswick Juventus 0. Kenny bowled over inside the 18-yard box. Fairly says the official. It's behind for a Bentleigh corner kick. I believe this is the first corner kick we've had of the night. It's taken 60 minutes. A chance potentially for the Greens to construct something from a set piece. Ash Lefevre with that wicked left foot. Floated up into the mix. Regan Bridges is there. Couldn't keep the header down. Would have been an unlikely goal scorer. A great play from the set piece. It was as good as a free header from the American. Not able to keep it down. Another decent opportunity comes and goes for the home side. Bentleigh have another substitute warming up on the far side. And I have to tell you, we are going to have Sydney Allen come on now. I didn't see Sydney in the referee team sheet that I got from our officials this evening. It wouldn't be the first time that I've been done in by an official team sheet this season. They can sometimes do us a bit of a mischief. No, I'm having a look at the team sheet and Sydney Allen's name is up the top, but there's a big fat line through it. But she's about to come on, the captain. Meanwhile, Bentleigh are going to have another set piece. Will they make the change? It looks like it's going to be another double change when it comes. I might wait for the corner kick. Up comes Regan Bridges again and Belinda Stachevski. Bentleigh comes so close with the previous corner only a couple of minutes ago. Brunswick Juventus on high alert. Lefevre floats it in again. Bridges was in the vicinity. Spoon straight up and down. I think they're appealing out there for a handball. Down goes the Bentleigh player in the 18-yard box, and it's a penalty kick for Bentleigh. And it was Regan Bridges who was fouled. And our referee in the middle, Shab Saban, points to the penalty spots, and Bentleigh will have an opportunity from 12 yards to break the deadlock. In the meantime, we've got a couple of changes. Daniela De Petta will be coming off, and she will be replaced by the birthday girl Renee Sofronides. So the only player on a yellow card is being removed. Renee Sofronides, who turns 23 tomorrow, comes off. I should say. Sydney Allen will come on and will replace Karina Tolios, who's been terrific out there tonight for Bentleigh. So it's going to be Regan Bridges by the look of it. She was the one who won the penalty, and maybe Bentleigh have a protocol. If you win the penalty, you take the penalty. Bentleigh have had their first goal tonight pending for more than an hour. Regan Bridges, the American from the Rocky Mountains, from 12 yards, scores for Bentleigh. Regan Bridges' first goal in the green shirt of Bentleigh. And at long last, it took a long time. Bentleigh have been peppering the Brunswick UVA goal for more than an hour, and eventually the goal comes from 12 yards. Regan Bridges, her first goal in the NPLW Victoria, and the Greens, for the third consecutive match, take the lead. Well, she did score one goal in 20 appearances for Florida International University, where she was the captain. And I'm wondering if it's a Bentleigh protocol that you win the penalty, you take it, or perhaps Regan just took the ball and said, stuff yous, I'm taking it. I should have scored a few moments ago from the corner. Let me at it. Lefevre for Parker. Bentleigh with the wind in their sails now. They have the lead that they have deserved. And Brunswick Juventus still with no shots on goal to tell you about through 65 minutes. Oh, over goes the Bentleigh player in midfield. Brunswick Juve play it forward. And out off the line comes Taylor Murphy. Good alert goalkeeping. Well, they would be absolutely beside themselves if they were to take the lead at last and then concede within minutes. Bentleigh, McKenzie, Capola. Doesn't quite find its way to Rex Heppy. Picked up by Fernandez. Here's Sydney Allen, who's back in the captain's armband. Playing it forward for Kenny or Fernandez. Fernandez will cut it back for Delaney Kenny, but couldn't quite find her. And interjecting was Neville Coeur. Whacked forward by Torre into the grateful gloves of Peyton Woodward, who is going to have to wait another week to keep her first clean sheet in the colours of Brunswick Juventus. Well, they were awarded 3 penalties last season, Bentleigh. They scored all 3 of them. Olivia Bomford was their designated penalty taker last season. Sydney Allen scoots away on fresh legs. Sydney Allen, will she go all the way? She's shaping to shoot. She does shoot, and she's denied only by the uprights. Peyton Woodward was scrambling. Parker keeps it alive. Bentleigh with their foot to the throat. Lefevre. Her cross is cut out by Shishido, who's gone awfully quiet in this second half. Sofronides battling with McKenzie, who plays it forward. We've all of a sudden got some space in this match. Bridges, Capola keeping her honest. The game becoming stretched with still 24 or so minutes to play. Scored first in 9 matches last season, the Greens. They only went on to win 3 of those matches. Of course, it's now 3 games in a row in which they've scored first, and they are still yet to win. Draw on match day 1. A loss last week to Heidelberg United, despite scoring within the first 20 seconds of kickoff to start the second half. They're pretty keen to flip the script tonight. Get their first win since late last season when they beat Heidelberg United on match day 21. Allen trying to get past Alyssa Smith. Storey. Allen crossed into the 18-yard box. It gets past McEwen, and then Kenny. It's well collected by the goalkeeper. There was a defensive error made in there by the Brunswick Juventus defenders. Peyton Woodward hell-bent on not conceding a second. Well, the question I want to ask, somewhat cynically, is do they deserve a goal, Brunswick Juventus? A nervy little moment there for our goal scorer, Regan Bridges. That really should have been a foul in midfield for Delaney Kenny. None forthcoming. Torre. Ali also goes down. It's getting willing in midfield. McKenzie skips past one. Receives it back. Again, that pass going into the final third, not connecting with a player in a black and white shirt. Oh, bit of miscommunication there. Sydney Allen and a couple of her troops. Bridges a clearance. And Delaney Kenny looks like she's lined up in the middle of her front 3 now for Bentleigh. A nervy pass for Nanami Shishido. It's a good pass from the Japanese midfielder. This is Chaya running forward. Her pass intercepted. Torre, an early release. We're seeing a lot of early releases now from these two teams. They're not really interested in playing through the park. As soon as they get possession, they just want to bang it forward and try and create something from the long ball. Brunswick Juventus are going to make their first change of the night. Danny McKenzie, who's been pretty good for Juve up front, has been a bit isolated. She's going to be replaced by Ondine Guimara, another former Alamein player out there. I can imagine she's one of the highest energizers in this Brunswick Juventus crew. I was having a look at her in the warm-up about 2 hours before kick-off. Bouncing all over the place, being a pest, trying to keep her teammates up and about. If it pans out to be another long season for Brunswick Juventus, those sorts of players are going to be pretty critical. There's another change here coming for Bentleigh. Belinda Stachevski is being replaced by Anna Liakopoulos, who was playing her football with Burundurra last season. Parker, Allen, no space to shoot. All be coming together in midfield. Caitlin Storey picks herself up. I think Layla Butler was the Brunswick Juventus player she clattered into. Lefebvre. Back for Bridges. Sofronides, the soon-to-be 23-year-old. Always good celebrating your birthday on a Saturday. Liakopoulos for Bridges. Here's Renee Sofronides, looking to try and play in Fernandez. A lot of their second half substitutes have had a big impact since coming on. Bentleigh, Storey, brought down after the pass. The advantage is played. Fernandez running at the defender, looking to cut it back for Delaney Kenny. And now the referee's bringing play to a halt. And we might have had advantage paid there because the referee's coming in and giving a yellow card. Well, that is to say, she is handing out a yellow card. Just trying to locate, I think it's Sienna Coppola, the player going into the book. Wasn't sure if advantage had been paid there because the usual signal for advantage I did not see. Here comes Mia Sikirski, her first start in the top flight lasts 73 minutes. And she's being replaced by Natasha Colosimo. And Mia's had a good battle out there at right back. It certainly hasn't been easy for any of the Juve players this evening. Certainly the defenders. Mia's had a tough battle with Lefebvre and Kenny on that half, that flank, I should say. Liakopoulos, deft little touch. Couldn't quite get it back from Storey. Brunswick Juventus spring forward. Here's an opportunity for Guimara, who's chopped down right on the edge of the 18-yard box. The referee says no. And the Brunswick Juventus bench are up in arms. And the word we'd like to use is incensed, and so much so someone over there is getting a yellow card. I just want to say, I know that probably looked like a foul, and they are a little bit upset with how the night has transpired, but I think we've got some people over there on both sides of the fence that could probably just pull their heads in, I think, a little bit. Tensions are high, I know, but there's no need to react the way that some folk did. The flag is up on this near side for offside. And so Brunswick UV's attack is going to peter out. It's the Brunswick UV coach, Justin Ayaria, who is into the book. Into the final 15 minutes we go. For all of Bentleigh's dominance in this match, it's just a one-goal game. I'm not sure Brunswick Juventus are a team that have 2 goals in them, but if they could potentially steal a goal and steal a point, that will feel like a win with how this match has ticked along this evening. Lefebvre, Storey, chopped down just as she was winding up to get her pass away. Undine Guimara, the offender, she also comes limping away from that contest, and not for the first time this evening. Caitlin Storey is on the turf and a little slow to get up. Well, they did score a bunch of late goals last season, Brunswick UV. They scored 8 goals in the final quarter hour of games. That was about mid-table when you rank the teams by goals scored in the final 15 minutes. Bentleigh only scored 4 goals in the final quarter hour of matches. Only Essendon and Col United scored fewer. Storey trying to lay it off for Sydney Allen. Foot race though is won by Kenny. Kenny for Fernandez now. Charging again at the UV defence. And fires from the narrow angle. That would have been some goal. And the crowd appreciate it. I mentioned when she come on, she's an electric lady. Isabella Fernandez. Been at Bentleigh for a little while now. Returned from Southern United in 2023. She was a Bayside United junior. That would have brought the house down. And it certainly would have signed, sealed and delivered Bentleigh their first win of the season. But they feel like they are as in control of a 1-0 lead as you can be. And they do look like they're the team that are going to score again if we do indeed have a second goal in this match. Kenny, Allen, Fernandez just poking it at that near post. Behind for a goal kick. Despite all of her tenacity and her electricity, she's only scored 2 goals. Izzy Fernandez in 42 appearances. This is appearance number 43. Bridges, my mistake. Storey. Back to Regan Bridges. It's her goal that separates these two teams on the night. If you've only joined us recently, she won and converted Bentleigh's penalty kick just after the hour mark. Parker. Allen leaves it for Storey, who's happy to retreat. Sofronides. Dispossessed and then chops down Sienna Coppola, I should say. And we've got another yellow card coming here to someone on the Brunswick Juventus bench. And it's obviously one of the assistant coaches. That's the second Brunswick UV official that has been booked, and I can imagine that we may want to keep our eye on the pitch after the final whistle. I expect that there might be some shenanigans, shall I say. We don't always like to see that, but it can happen when some very passionate people go a little bit cuckoo. Brunswick Juventus with a throw in adjacent to the 18-yard box. Oh, Rex Epi, a couple of lovely little passes to try and get herself clear. We've got a problem here with the Brunswick Juve player. I think that is Samira Rexepi. The two Bentleigh players are showing a bit of concern for Samira. It looks like it might be cramp, by the way one of the Bentleigh players was trying to help with her leg, with her stretches. Certainly hope that's all it is. And Samira Rexepi, a 18-year-old, just her 12th appearance this evening. Her second start of the season. Second season at Brunswick Juve. She's one of the many players that have come in and out of the Football Victoria Academy program. And this definitely looks like it's merely cramp. I wonder if some of the Brunswick Juventus medical team have the famous or infamous pickle juice that Samira can guzzle down. She hobbles to the touchline where she will receive further treatment. I believe they do have one substitution window remaining, Brunswick Juve, so they can make a change if they wish. Or are they happy to play with 10 players for the time being? They are without one of their midfielders as we play on. Bentleigh still nursing a 1-0 lead. Kenny bumped off it by Nevlin Court. Tried to slide in a pass. And spill here for Gimara. Ping-pongs off about 4 players. Gimara on the follow-up. Put so much into it, she ended up on her backside. Here come Brunswick Juve again. They'll put their hand up and ask for a corner kick. And ask and you shall receive. And Brunswick Juve's first corner of the match. A match that they have only trailed for 20 minutes, but they've been on the back foot almost since the opening kickoff. Kimara to take a right-footed in-swinger. McEwen is there! And a glancing header goes wide. And Brunswick Juventus, by far and away their best opportunity of the night. How many more will there be? Bentleigh would have been absolutely apoplectic had they conceded there. They'd like to get this second goal, the Greens. They'd feel a bit better about things if the second goal was to come. Lefebvre loses possession right on the touchline. Samira Rexepi's back into the match now. Store 8. Allen. Oh, nice little nutmeg. Early release from Kenny for Fernandez to chase. And she does. She latches onto it on the edge of the 18-yard box. Back inside for Delaney Kenny. And instead it was Coco Parker who spooned it over the goal mouth. And just a couple of greens right there in the shadows of the goalposts. And I don't quite think that they knew who it was for. And Coco just threw a hopeful boot at it and turned it over. And still Brunswick Juventus are just one goal adrift. All of the golden opportunities have come in this second half. As we head towards the final 5 minutes of the 90. We didn't have any stoppage time at the end of the first 45. I imagine it'll be a different situation at the end of the 90. Ali Toure Plays it out and concedes possession rather cheaply. A throw in on the far side for Juve. Butler in the 18-yard box. And then spraying the ball across the goal mouth. That might have been Rexepi, and Taylor Murphy gleefully accepts. And she's only 5 minutes and change away from keeping her first clean sheet of the season, Taylor Murphy. She was another one that joined from Alamein last season. She started every game, I should say, for Alamein last season. Just the one clean sheet. Here's Fernandez in the corner, on the fringes of the penalty box. A twist and a turn and a perfect delivery for Delaney Kenny, whose header has been deflected behind. That's why it didn't ripple the back of the net. Time seemed to stand still for the American. She had forever to angle her header towards goal. A deflection takes it behind for a corner kick. To be taken by, I think this is Izzy Fernandez on the near side. A right-footed in-swinger that Peyton Woodward had to claim without problem, and she did. Pumps it long. Lefebvre, the defensive header. On by Storey. All the way back to Peyton Woodward. Are we to have late drama at Kingston Heath? Torre runs on. It's a game that, the way it's been played, probably deserves a 2 or 3 goal lead to the home side. Probably haven't quite been as clinical as they might have liked. The Parker's tracking down. Colosimo does well to win it back for Bentleigh. Didn't have a lot of support. They're boisterous down below. They can sense, they can taste their first win of the season, Bentleigh. They'll feel really disappointed that they haven't opened the account already this season. Played well against South Melbourne, played even better against Heidelberg United last week. A couple of bad defensive errors led to a couple of Heidelberg United goals. Sofronides, Lefebvre, roaming down, plays it not quite in behind McEwen's defensive header. Falls softly for Guimara. And again, can't find Rexepi. Bentleigh back in possession. It can't be too long before the Greens maybe turn their attention to just looking after the ball and battening down the hatches. Too much on that pass for Coco Parker. And Lefebvre, I should say. I think this is Coco Parker here who is in a little bit of trouble. Referee has stopped play. And Coco's good to go. All those little stoppages will add up to a chunk of second half stoppage time, you would think. Bentleigh will be away from home for the first time this season next Friday night. They go to Wembley to play Box Hill United. Back at home to play Spring Hills. Here's a good run through midfield. Sienna Coppola. In jumps Ellie Torre. After that home clash with Spring Hills, they're away again to face Preston. That won't be easy. And then they're back at home to face the Bulleen Lions. Sydney Allen can dink one through to Kenny Delaney, who draws the foul. Delayed flag. And a set piece for Bentleigh to drain a little bit more time off the clock. Of course, we're not too far away. In fact, this is the foul that has gone Brunswick Juventus' way. Might have been offside. The cup action not too far away. Bentleigh have been drawn to play the winner of Bentleigh United and Dallas City. Brunswick Juventus will play Heidelberg United away. That'll be in the 4th round. The 4th round is the round that the top division teams enter. Still a couple of weeks away, those clashes. Brunswick Juventus are back at home next Saturday to play the Football Victoria emerging side. Sydney Allen. Chance here for Coco Parker as we enter second half stoppage time, of which we will have 4 minutes. Coco turns and lays it off for Lefebvre, who I think was trying to stab it into the top left-hand corner. It was ambitious. And Brunswick Juventus are going to make their final substitution. And Samira Rexhepi will come from the pitch, and she'll be replaced by Tiana Pandov, who will make her first appearance of the season. She's been in the squad the first 2 match days, Tiana. This is her first appearance in the seniors. She did make 14 appearances in the under-20s for Juve last season. And can she be the hero? A reminder, 4 minutes of second half stoppage time. No doubt Brunswick Juve would have liked to have seen maybe a minute or 2 more. Still that 64th minute penalty scored by Regan Bridges that separates the two. On another night, Bentleigh might have found a second or a third or even a fourth. They won't care too much as long as they get to leave Kingston Heath Soccer Complex tonight with the 3 points. That's all that will matter. Looking to spoil the late party here, the Zebras. Shishido rolling past the couple in green, or slips a ball through it, come off the backside of Guimara. Had that found its way through, she would have been one-on-one with the goalkeeper on Dean. Out of play on the far side. Can they create one more opportunity? Brunswick Juventus, it's been a night where they have been seriously hard to come by. Kua pumps it forward. Lefebvre heads it away. Coco Parker tracks it down, keeps it in play, and eventually does the wise thing and plays it out. All hands to the pump for Brunswick Juve if they want to leave here with something. Colosimo, no pass forward, Lefebvre plays it out the touch. Juve get a throw in adjacent to the 18-yard box. Butler trying to sort her way through the Bentleigh defenders. And Bentleigh have a foul here to release the pressure valve. Almost 3 minutes of the 4 that we were promised have ticked away. And Caitlin Storey again, slowly peels her way off the turf after another big challenge. Been a great shift in the middle of the park this evening for Caitlin Storey. She's been a welcome sight returning to Bentleigh this season to shore up midfield. Bentleigh are nearly there. Won one of their last 10 matches in the league. Shishido. Great stuff from Bridges. Turns defence into attack. Kua or Delaney Kenny. Keeping the Brunswick Juventus defenders honest. Storey. Allen. Couple of lovely little touches. Trying to slip through Coco Parker. Can't quite connect. Into the final seconds of this one. Referee Shab Saban has a little look at her watch. Bentleigh playing for the whistle. And the whistle comes. The referee did drop it mid-whistle, but that is the final bell tolling for these two sides. A night in which the Bentleigh Greens dominated really general play for the most parts. It's a game that the final score will flatter the losers. one goal enough for Bentleigh to net their first victory of the new campaign, but it really could have been a 3 or 4 or 5 goal night for the Greens. It was a 64th minute penalty that was scored by their American defender, Regan Bridges. Their Americans have scored all 3 goals so far this season. Delaney Kenny scored on match day 1 and 2, and tonight it was the defender who tucked away the penalty that she won. She scored, and in the end that was all the Greens needed to separate these two teams on the night. So it's Bentleigh who taste success for the first time this evening. It will be back to the drawing board for Brunswick Juventus, who, as mentioned, will be back at home next Saturday afternoon to face the Football Victoria Academy side. 4 games to come tomorrow, gang. 5, in fact. You can watch all of those matches on the NPLW Victoria channel. For me, Brent Sternberg, and our cameraman James here this evening, you've seen Bentleigh Greens open the accounts for the 2025 season in the NPLW Victoria. Regan Bridges, the goal scorer, and the final here at Kingston Heath under the Friday night lights. Bentleigh Greens 1, Brunswick Juventus 0.